Hi guys, my name is Melody. Thanks for stopping by. And today I'm going to do my 2019 reading challenge from Goodreads. For that, I set myself a goal of 12 books for the whole year. The reason being that I am a student and I thought that if I did 12 books then that would be great. However, I did finish with, I think, 39 books, so 28 books ahead of reading schedule. So I'm going to go over my books and tell you a bit about them. Hopefully I remember, and just a wee summary of what I did read in 2019. So this is off of the Goodreads app, so I will be reading on my phone because if I could remember that, then I would make straight A's. They don't really do straight A's in the UK. They kind of do other things, but that's besides the point. Anyway, okay. So the first book, I will let you know as well that I'm a part of the Petermon Book Club, and it's a true crime book club, so a lot of these will be true crime novels. Those I won't get into too much detail about at all. I don't think I'll get into too much detail about everything, but I'll tell you which books I did read for that. Okay, so the first book I read for 2019 was The Stranger Beside Me, Ted Bundy, The Shocking Inside Story by Anne Rule. Okay, obviously it's about Ted Bundy. He was a serial killer. I gave that book 4 stars because I generally liked it, even though I thought that some of it was a bit iffy, to say the least. The next book I read was The Meno by Plato. If you know, like I said, I am a student and I only read that because I was forced to. It's a philosophy book. I hated philosophy. I will never do philosophy again because it just reiterated why I hated it so much. The next book was also a philosophy book, The Phaedo, also by Plato. Yeah, again, philosophy. Don't like it. The next book I read was In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I gave that one 4 stars because, unlike some people, I did actually partially enjoy it, but I think Truman Capote took a lot of license with the book as well, and it's not highly accurate. That was about a murder on a farm in small town Midwest America. Or is it Western? No, I think it's Midwest, but yeah, things. The next one was Meditations on First Philosophy, with selections from the Objections and Replies by René Descartes. No need to talk about that. And then the next one was An Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding by David Hume. Another philosophy book. However, David Hume, here's an interesting fact. David Hume was from Edinburgh. David Hume also helped to plan the Calton Hill, which there is another video about Calton Hill and its monuments somewhere on my channel. I would say down below, or I'll link it, but you know what? I don't know how. So I'm not doing that. But also, interesting fact for you, if you ever visit Edinburgh in Scotland, David Hume helped plan the new town. So there you go. Fun history facts for you. The next one was a more serious book, and this one was also from the book club, and that was Columbine by Dave Cullen. What I would say about this book is I graduated around that time, so that probably tells you how old I am, and it kind of took me back to that high school place where I was, and as a goth during that time, it was not very fun at all, especially the way that people looked at you like you were weird. Anyway, I did learn a lot of things that I didn't know about it or wasn't reported as such from that book. That book I gave, let's have a look, 5 stars because I thought the facts were very good and it told a story that I was not aware of. That was not widely reported in the state that I'm from. I'm from Georgia, so I don't think we heard a lot of the news stories that they would have heard in the area at that time. But if you do want to find out more, this is actually a very good book. The story is quite sad, as everyone well knows, but the book was well written and treated the subject very, very, let's say, sympathetically. Okay, so the next book I read was Lost Girls, An Unsolved American Mystery by Robert Kolker. This book I gave a 3-star rating because I felt it was all over the place. The story was very hard to follow. Things weren't, I didn't understand where he was going with that story. I understand, like to say, it's another true crime book, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. Okay, the next book I read was Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I gave a 5-star rating to. This was a very good, very enlightening book. It was brilliantly authored. I thought her story was just so inspiring and things like that, that basically that you can come from nothing and become something you want to be, and that you are never your finished product. You can always still evolve and change and be who you want to be. It's just a very uplifting book. Okay, the next one, another serial killer book. So this one was Killer Klown, the John Wayne Gacy Murderers by Terry Sullivan. That one I gave a 4-star to. I found it odd. I found it creepy. It was decently written. I hardly ever get a book below 4 stars unless it's terrible. But that was, yeah, it was okay. Okay, so next one. I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. This was one of my favorite true crime books of the whole year. This book is an excellent read. I think everyone should read it. It is a case study in not only trying to find a killer, but also the person behind it. Now, she did pass away before this book was published, and her husband, Patton Oswalt, finished the book, and it is just absolutely brilliant. It's a sad story, but it's one, if you are wanting to read the best crime novels, true crime novels, that you should read. Okay, so the next one was How Not to Be a Boy by Robert Webb. Robert Webb is a comedian in the UK, and this is a book about his childhood up until, I believe, the time that he gets married and has children with his wife. This is a very good story. It's a personal one about his life, his relationships with his family, things like that, and how not everyone is conventional. It's really good. Let me just see what I gave that one. That one was a 5-star. Oh, and if the previous one, let you know, that was 5-star as well. Okay, so the next one is Zodiac by Robert Graysmith. Now, this one, obviously, about the Zodiac Killer. I gave this book a 3-star rating. Didn't enjoy it that much. It wasn't that great. But like say, you have to be painfully awful to get a 2 or a 1 in my book. It was readable. It was okay. It was nothing to write home about. I did listen to, on Audible, Evil Has a Name with Paul Holes. That was really good. It added more information about the Golden State Killer after his capture and things like that, and how they caught him. So that one was quite a good listen. Okay, so we get on to other books. I imagine this is when summer hit. So I went through the Discworld books. I'm going back through them very slowly. I have stopped off for a while because I am back at university and work is hard, and it's hard to get in some good reading time or listening time. So I did The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. So 5 stars. Terry Pratchett nothing much to say. It's a Rincewind novel. It's his first novel. It's absolutely brilliant. If you like a world that travels on the back of a giant tortoise held up by elephants, you will enjoy this book. Okay, the next one is Toast on Toast, Cautionary Tales and Candid Advice by Stephen Toast, which is not really his real name, but it's an absolutely brilliant read. It is, I believe it's Matt Berry, he's a comedian. There was a serial called Toast of London. This was the book accompanying it, and it was absolutely hilarious, depending on your humor. If you like British humor, then you'll love this. Again, another humor book. Did Jonathan Pye Off the Record. Jonathan Pye is a Facebook star, really. Is basically a satirized reporter who reports on political news and things like that. That's what the book was about. That probably got a 5-star. Yeah, it did, because sometimes you need a bit of humor in your life. The next one was one that I just grabbed off of Audible because it was on a sale. So it was The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson. Or is that Jonas Jonasson? I'm not sure. Could be either. Now, it was actually a weird book, but it was actually quite funny because everything kept happening, but it happened in like an accidental way, if you know what I mean. So like it was all accidental, which was really funny. But it was actually a quite a good book. Let me just see what I gave that one. That one I gave a 4 stars too, because it's not my normal type of book, but I enjoyed it. The next one was Helter Skelter, The True Story of the Manson Murders by Vincent Bugliosi. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That one, I think, yeah, 3, because it was okay. It told the story. It was too much information. I probably should have gave it a 2 because I felt like dying at the end of it. It was just so awful. I hated that book. I got rid of the book when I was done with it. It is gone. It is no longer in my bookshelf. Yeah, on second thought, 2. Don't like it. I think I'll change that. 2. I know it's a serious subject again. However, it was tedious, and we don't want to ever hear the name Charles Manson again. Now, Marilyn Manson, that's a different story. I love Marilyn Manson, but that's okay. You don't need to know that. Anyway, the next book, another book from the book club, American Predator, The Hunt for the Most Meticulous Serial Killer of the 21st Century by Maureen Callahan. That book I gave a 5 stars to. It was actually a really good book. I think some of it took some literary license, but overall, really good read. It was very odd because the guy that they talk about, oh, I can't remember, is it Ezra? I never actually heard, oh sorry, Israel Keys. Why did I say Ezra Keys? Is Israel Keys. Basically he lived in a similar place that I did, probably somewhere at the same time, which makes it extremely odd and extremely scary to me. Anyway, that one is a good one. I never heard of the man before this book. So that one I would recommend. Now, the next one, I get on to the Wayward Pines series by Blake Crouch. So I read Pines. If you haven't heard of it, it's about this guy who is a, what was it? It's not FBI, but it's I can't remember what they call it. The one that deals with money and stuff like that, money laundering, but he's like an agent. And he wakes up in this town and he doesn't know how he got there. And then you go from there on the stories. I'm not going to tell you too much about it after that because that starts to spoil the other books as well. But I gave it a 5. It was really good. You never really know where you're coming from with that one. The next one I read was Good Omens, The Nice and Accurate Prophecies of Agnes Nutter, Witch, by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. It's brilliant. If you haven't watched the series, I would say read the book, then watch the series, but it's a brilliant read. Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman are some of my favorite writers. If you ever get a chance to read, I would say to read, was it this, sorry, I can't remember. Oh no, I can't remember the cemetery, what was it, Cemetery Boy or something like that. Hold on, I'll find it. Neil Gaiman. Cemetery Book, I think it is. Oh no, The Graveyard Book, that's it. Brilliant, brilliant book. Loved it. About the apocalypse. Let's just say that. It's about the apocalypse, but in a very strange, very amusing way. Okay? Next one, I'm just going to go through these ones because, like I said, I'm not going to give you anything away with those. Wayward, the second book in Wayward Series Pines 2. That one was a 5-star. And then The Last Town by Blake Crouch, which was the third book in the series, the final book, and that one was also a 5-star. I read A Man Called Ove. That one was a really good one. I gave that one a 5-star. Basically, he's just an old man and he's trying to do something horrible to himself, but life gets in the way and he finds, let's say he just finds different ways. He's a grumpy old man, but an amusing grumpy old man. Recommend. The next one was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. That one was really odd. So like a guy in Chicago finds himself kidnapped and then all kinds of weird things come after that. There's not too much you can actually say about Blake Crouch's books without like giving a lot of it away because with the story. Basically I had to wait till my husband read it as well so that we could discuss it because if I said anything he would know. Okay, so next one. Oh, that was a 5-star, by the way. I think all of Blake Crouch, all of Blake Crouch's books are a 5-star. I'm not editing this video, so you'll get all the nice nuances there. Anyway, so the next one after that, another Blake Crouch book because I just wanted to read all of them. So I read Recursion. I gave that a 5-star. And that one was really weird. So basically it has to do with false memory syndrome, but what really is false memory syndrome? That's the question. So just tell you to read that. Then I got onto another Terry Pratchett book. It was another Rincewind book. It's number 2, The Light Fantastic. So basically they're trying to save the Discworld from decimation. And lots of hilariousness ensues. Yeah, Discworld, there's not much more to say about Discworld that you can go deeply into without just being Terry Pratchett was an amazing man. Anyway, 5 stars. Then I read Equal Rights, which was the Witch's #1 book of the Discworld, Terry Pratchett. That's another 5-star. I don't even have to look for that. So basically it talks about how there's no female wizards and things like that. Or is it? Let me just add this. Yep. Yeah, there's no female wizards until this book. So the next one is My Friend Anna by Rachel Deloche Williams. Let me just see what I've rated this one. Now this one, 3 or 4. It was alright. I found this one really hard because it's in regards to that that Anna Delvey, the con artist that was posting as a German Harris sort of thing. So she was getting money out of people. She never had money to pay her back, that sort of thing. But a lot of the time I didn't really connect with the writer because of the fact that she lives a life that I just don't connect to, sort of thing. It's just probably beyond my means, and it's a life extraordinary sort of thing. So I'm not really recommending that one because it's not the best. Next one. See, I'm just speeding up with the Terry Pratchett's here because it's Mort by Terry Pratchett. It's the Death #1, Discworld #4. Brilliant. It's about Death's assistant Mort. Who else could care? It's just brilliant. I'm just gonna say that about every Terry Pratchett book. It's a Death's assistant one. The next one is Sorcery, Discworld #5, Rincewind #3. This one, I gave it a 4 stars. So, yeah, basically, it's about the 8th son of the 8th son of a son of a wizard. So it's like, if you get this, and this, you'll get a sorcerer who is a bit mad. Let's just say that. So it's a weird one, but it's a good one. It's a really good one. The next one I read was The Cows by Donna Porter. I gave that one a 5-star rating because it was really good. It's about 3 different women going about their separate lives, but their lives all converge with different aspects of what they're doing in life and how they're trying to make their way through the world. I would actually recommend that book. Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep in this because we're already at 20 minutes. So, hey-ho, let's move along. So, the next one is The Year of Living Danishly by Helen Russell. And it is absolutely a brilliant book. It is a true story. It's about a woman whose husband gets to go and work at what most men would deem the happiest place in the world, which is Lego. My husband, as well included, loves the Lego set. I gave this book a 5 stars because it was absolutely brilliant. There is some like bit of teary moments in there, but it's magical. She's such a good writer and she was very good at doing her story there. Now, let's get on to more books. So, there was an Audible original I had on here, which is Body of Proof, which is about a woman who disappeared in Edinburgh. The guy that got arrested and ultimately convicted for her murder. I did give it a 3 stars because it wasn't very compelling to me. They didn't drag up any new information about the case. It just was what it was. I could have looked that up on old newspapers and things like that, so it didn't really capture anything there. Okay, so the next one I read was the Louis Theroux, Gotta Get Through This, My Life in Strange Times on Television. 5-star, brilliant book. Love Louis Theroux. Absolutely amazing. He's one of the best like documentarians at the moment. I do enjoy all his documentaries. I have watched probably all of them, not the early stuff because, you know, it's not on BBC iPlayer. Anyway, okay, so I've only got 3 more books that I actually finished in 2019. And one was The Iceman, Confessions of a Mafia Contract Killer by Philip Carlo. I gave this a 4 stars. It's gruesome. It's graphic. It's scary. It was okay for a read, but it's not something that I would want to read again. Nor did I enjoy it. Sorry about that, my light fell over. It's not a real light, it's just a beauty light for a mirror. Anyway. Yeah, so it's something I don't want to read again. I don't really care to know more about him. It's not something that I would like to deal with in my daily life. The next one that we arranged for the book club was Dope Sick, Dealers, Doctors, and the Drug Company That Addicted America by Beth Macy. This one I did give a 4 to. Now, the reason I gave it a 4 is because it's a really good book. It can be a bit tedious sometimes. The 4 is actually because the way it jumps around, sometimes I forgot what characters were, well, characters, actually real life people, I forgot who she was talking about and what their lives were. It was hard to follow along. But what I would say about it, it is definitely a good read, especially if in America and you're unaware about the big pharma causing the opium epidemic in America. It's something that should be read because lots of people got addicted to these drugs due to prescription painkillers such as Oxycontin and things like that. So I think it's an important read. I got confused a bit. That's why it's a 4-star. Okay, so the last one is The Good Nurse. I have done a review on The Good Nurse. The Good Nurse I did like, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. His writing was very well done. Like I said, we don't take any of these true crime books lightly because there are victims that are real life victims and they are somebody's family. But I did give that one a 5 stars, and that is the end of my books for 2019. So what I'm thinking about doing for 2020 is maybe upping my challenge. Maybe say, if I did 12, then maybe I should do, and I read 39, maybe I should do 40. So like one more than I actually did read, and see if I can get past that. That might be a acceptable way. But once I read the next book, or once I finish the next book, as long as it's not a history book or a philosophy book, which that ain't never gonna happen anymore, then I will bring it back and give you a review on it. Sorry for all the mistakes. I do not want to edit my videos because ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm just gonna say, have a happy new year. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Remember that everything is okay and that everyone loves you, and be positive and just be fun, be happy, and stay healthy and never grow old. Lots of love. I will see you in the next one. Bye.